Katerina is struggling and has asked, how do I write my problem statement for a mixed method study? Matthew, any advice on problem statements in general and then specifically in relation to mixed method studies as well?
Yeah, so problem statements can be a problem for a lot of our clients because they're a little tricky to write. When you're thinking about your problem statement, this is where you are telling the reader the core issue that you're seeking to address here. And where a lot of people, I think, go wrong or overthink the problem statement is they start to kind of pack it full of context that really belongs in your literature review. They pack it full with potentially their research questions might be woven into their problem statement when most universities require that to be its own separate section with a separate subheading. So the problem statement can be a real challenge for those reasons. Generally, unless of course your university has a different expectation, my advice on problem statements is we're going to get in and we're going to get out. A problem statement in a chapter 1 is 2, maybe 3 paragraphs that's going to basically say, this is the problem we're trying to solve. And using that language, right? So this is not an opportunity to try to fluff things up. It is about being direct. The problem this dissertation explores is blank. And then the rest of that paragraph and one other explaining what that means and what that looks like. I think that people who struggle with problem statements often overthink the problem statement. They make it bigger than it needs to be. I think it's an opportunity to get in and get out, be as direct as you can. The problem this dissertation explores is blank, and then provide just a little detail and context. The rest of that context goes in your chapter 2.
I think that's really strong advice there. And that problem statement is really just that, a statement of the problem. So if you've identified gaps in the research, an issue, a problem of practice, that's what you want to be hitting home with that problem statement. You don't necessarily want to be waxing lyrically on all of the literature that you've covered. That's coming in your literature review chapter. This is just part of that process of the introduction of getting the context, summarizing it. It is a summary of the problem that you've identified. And then specifically, you want to make sure that it is a clear problem that is addressable by your research as well. That's a mistake that I've commonly seen as well with clients I've supported is they take a really big view on the problem statement and make it much larger. And then the inevitable defense or critique that they get is, but how does your research solve that problem? And so it's really about getting that nice and succinct, summarized, and really clearly attached to your aims and research questions as well.